Hello and welcome to episode 41 of the Real Serious Podcast. As always, I'm Hunter along with Jack. We're doing a little throwback episode today, talking about 1978's Halloween. Before we get into that, how are you, Jack? Chilling? You good?
The Hoosiers, man, they're rolling.
Okay, let's start with that. I feel like we have to talk about that. They were 6.5-point favorites. They won by 49, and they dominated. It was never really a question from the jump.
It was electric,
awesome.
dude. I honestly was like waiting for like there to be a point in the game where like they would come back or they would make a push, and then just like never happened. So
the only time it was like you were like, all right, here's where they could try, was when we were up 14-0, and then they kind of came down and they fumbled on that 4th and 2. Like that was it. Right after that, it was over.
Yeah,
they weren't coming back.
It was funny. It was like a game of no field goals. Like
yeah.
As soon as you're on the opponent's beyond the 50-yard line, they're just like, well, we're just gonna go for it.
We're just gonna go for it.
Yeah. So, dude, it was.
Did you go to the game?
Yeah, it was nuts. They had like towels and stuff. Like it was just like it had like said like study later, and then it had like said like it's like a quote. It said like Coach Sig. But it's just kind of fun, man. I normally don't like. Never been to a game where you kind of like have like a rally towel. So that was fun.
I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, all right, the trade-off of not being there and them being good is worth it. Like I'd much rather do that trade-off of them being good. And like, oh man, it rocks so much. I cannot wait for like the Michigan. Cannot wait for Ohio State. Like it's fun. It's so good.
Oh, I know. It's gonna be a good time.
But then today we get some NFL.
I know.
So we're recording this before the NFL games today. So you guys, Anthony Richardson is back. He's starting again. Exciting. Oh no.
I'm excited, but I'm just kind of like I don't really care who I think this season's kind of already like a lost cause. Like I think like I'd rather just like see what Richardson can do, give him like his time, and if he's just way too injury prone, then I really don't think that there's much we can do.
The season's a lost cause. You could make the playoffs.
No, I know that. I know we can. I'm just saying like with Anthony Richardson, I'd more or less just like whether we make the playoffs or not is not like what I want to get out of the season. I'd rather like see if Anthony Richardson can like be that guy.
You could easily become a 9. Yeah, but you could easily become a 9-win team.
Yeah, no, I mean,
looking at your schedule right now, like
no, I know. I mean, our schedule's not too tough, but like we have like in the past few years we've been like a 9-win team. Like
I guess it's not really improving.
It's like I'd rather see if Anthony Richardson can like continue to stay healthy, if we can make progress as a team, because I feel like whenever we actually make progress as a team, then he gets hurt and then somebody else has to come in, and then he gets healthy again. We have to restart this whole process. So it's like,
I get you.
I don't know, less design runs, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm excited though. I mean, I love watching him play, even if some of the plays he makes aren't the smartest.
I mean, that's how he's got to learn though.
Yeah, he's a young quarterback though, so I'm excited. But I don't know. Lions though, who do you guys play this week?
We got the Vikings. So this is a big test. Undefeated Vikings. We got to go to the Vikings. I think we are now 1-point dogs. So, obviously with Hutchinson being out, it's tough. But I don't know. There's something about it where I just feel like decent about it. I think that both teams are just going to score 1 million points. Like I'm just pretty convinced that both teams are just going to score all of the points.
Yeah.
Which is, and also Max Crosby like is teasing he wants to come to Detroit, which I would love him to come to Detroit. So that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw the thing last week where he tried. Obviously, I think the pushing his coach thing was a little bit blown out of proportion, but maybe he was just covering it up pretty well. But
and also, I don't know. People, I I listen to a lot of sports talk radio, and they're like, well, you have to go quite a few picks for him and all this. It's like, yeah, but we got our core. Like, you got the guys that you're going to use for the next 5 years. Like, so really the guys you want to pick up would be like, you take a chance on a third rounder, you take a chance on this fourth rounder. Like, the only other guy you really need is, I just don't think Hendon Hooker's very good. So like, I would want to get a quarterback. But then if you get a guy in the third round who shows some potential, you could, get him better over 3 years.
Sure.
Like, I would like Curtis Rourke. I think he's very, very good. Like, I would like Curtis Rourke to be a Lion. Like, he's quite good. So, but yeah. Okay, that is football talk. Let's we got so much to talk about. So let's jump into what we watched this last week. What you got? What you got this last week?
This last week I killed it from my prior week. Not really killed it, but I watched 2 movies this week. I watched Halloween, and then I was able to go see SNL.
Oh, very nice.
Which I really liked. I really had a good time with that.
What'd you give that?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Nice.
Yeah, I think my expectations were really high for it, but I think it just like met my expectations.
Yeah.
I think that was a movie where I went in and I really felt like it didn't. I don't know. I really enjoyed just like the whole style of the movie, just like super chaotic from like beginning to end. Kind of like, honestly, kind of felt like I was in a Bear episode.
Yeah, that is a great comp, actually. That's a very good way to describe it, because it is very similar.
It was awesome. I liked it. I totally see where it's not like they didn't go like too deep in some areas, but then there's like parts of it that I really liked. Yeah, I liked it though. I'd probably watch it again. Probably not soon, just because there's so many things in theaters that I haven't seen, but I enjoyed it.
Let me tell you, I got my tickets for Venom and Wicked and Gladiator. And so I'm set for like the next little bit, but then I'm looking and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff coming to theaters that I just would like to see. So that's where it's hard. I mean, like this week we have Venom, but then also it's hard because some stuff is so limited. Like I just can't, like Juror number 2 apparently is only coming to like 15 theaters in America for like the first 2 weeks. Like, okay. And then Anora I'd like to see, but that's very limited. But then we get Red 1 pretty soon. So get hyped for that.
Thank the Lord, something awesome is taking up all the space in the movie.
We're gonna talk about Red 1 a little later because there's a movie on our trailers that I think is very, very comparable. But yeah, so for me, I watched Air Force One. This joins the grouping of special movies for us that is 3.5-star bangers. Harrison Ford, dude's rock movie. He's the president, and you're like, this is literally, there's a whole point in this movie where like there's a plot point of him watching a Michigan Notre Dame game, and you're like, yep. Just dudes rock. I finally got to see We Live in Time, and I gave it 3.5 stars, and it's a very positive 3.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It was an emotional gut punch. I know you're going to see it, so I'm not going to say like any spoilers or anything, but I will say I compared it. So I made a TikTok about it, and I compared it to like a sports analogy where you have guys like Charles Barkley or like Bo Jackson, like guys who you just know have all the talent in the world and they couldn't win the big one. And so you're like, look back on their career and they're amazing, but like they're missing that piece. And that is how I compared We Live in Time. Because like the script just doesn't match these two's ability to act. Like it doesn't reach the high, like they do, like they're incredible in it, but like you can tell that they're elevating the material, and the material can only be elevated to a certain level, where like if someone else I think came in and like punched us up a little bit, it would be easily 4 or 5 stars. Like, so, but still not negative. Like I think it was very, very good. And then Halloween, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, but yeah, that was what, and then also Penguin. And then we'll talk about Agatha in a little bit as well, because yikes, I'm not the biggest Agatha fan, but hey, that's for me. So, all right, let's get into some news. Detective Pikachu 2. So I didn't know this, but I guess the Pokemon company got hacked over the last couple weeks by a group called Team Rocket or something, which is kind of hilarious for Pokemon to get hacked by them. Anyway, it leaked like a lot of internal stuff, and one of the things it leaked was that Detective Pikachu 2 is coming, and it's going to be called like The Great Detective Pikachu. And I'm kind of excited about that. I liked the first one. I thought the first one was pretty decent.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird we never got like a second one already.
That's the one with Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yeah, where Ryan Reynolds is, and then Justice Smith and Catherine Newton. Like, I just thought that was like a pretty good movie. Like, it's nothing special, but like, I thought it looked great.
I'm assuming it did pretty well at the box office if they're coming back for another one.
Yeah, half $500 million it made.
That's quite juicy.
Yeah, that's what
I never seen the first one, but I mean, you got a movie that makes that much money. I mean, I guess there's some interest for it, so why not?
Yeah, and I think like, I don't know. I think it's weird that they chose Detective Pikachu instead of just doing like an Ash Ketchum movie. But
I guess has there been like a big Pokemon movie?
This is really it. Like, Detective Pikachu was kind of it. Like, they've done the animated ones. There's like the Pokemon movie and then like the Mewtwo ones, but like those are smaller, like just smaller movies compared to what Detective Pikachu was. And I'm shocked they didn't do like just a very basic, I don't know, here is Ash catching Pokemon with Pikachu.
Yeah, because I really don't know. I don't know too much about Pokemon, but I feel like it's an area where you make a lot of money.
I'm with you. I just think it looked great. Like, the Pokemon in the movie looks so good.
Yeah.
Which is why I would like to see them more. But yeah, that is Pokemon. Sorry they got hacked, but cool for letting us know that something is happening. Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney kind of broke the internet the last few days because there's the new pictures of her. She's going to be in a boxing movie about boxer Christy Martin. And Sydney Sweeney bulked up for this role, and so she's kind of like jacked now. And it looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think it looks like pretty legit. Yeah. And I don't know really who Christy Martin is, but apparently she was like a boxer who really just like went for the knockout every single time. And I don't know. I think like this is like a great test for Sydney Sweeney, because we've seen her in the comedies, we've seen her in like horror, but I feel like really seeing her try to do a dramatic role, I don't know, it just hasn't worked yet. So if she can do this, she's moving up in the world.
Yeah, I think a lot of doors will open for her if she can pull this off. I mean, because even with like what Euphoria was really big, I never watched Euphoria, so I
did. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I never really got, like, I know it was like kind of like drama, so but I never really like, I don't know, but I think it's exciting because I feel like she's attached herself to very like similar projects as of like recently, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think this will be interesting, especially with her having the lead role. So, dude, I saw her like beef up, and I was like, damn, like that's crazy.
I think her filmography is like sneaky kind of great. Like, I feel like it's very not talked about. So like, since, I don't know, let's just do since 2021. She was in The White Lotus, which is a great show. Euphoria, Reality, which was that movie on HBO that I did not see. Anyone But You, Madam Web stunk. Immaculate was good. Eden I have not seen, but then she's got the Christy Martin movie, something called The Housemaid, and Echo Valley. So like, I think she's doing a lot of different stuff, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she could be like one of the big ones if she plays her cards right.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone wants to have her in, like, you know, their movies.
I think people,
right now,
yeah.
she's just going left and right.
I'm glad she's not doing like the easy options. Like, there's very clearly 100%. The easy, like, I'm Sydney Sweeney and I'm very good looking movies.
Yeah.
But like, she's doing stuff that's a little outside of that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like there's just always the range of like where you're comfortable and like what's challenging. So I feel like her to take on a role that like maybe perceived as like challenging from most people, or like even herself, will be like, I think that'll be fun. Even if it doesn't maybe hit the way it does, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like she's trying something new.
for sure, for sure. All right. Are you a Conjuring guy?
Unfortunately, I have not seen them.
Yeah. So I was a big Conjuring guy for the first two, and then I kind of forgot about them. And there's like the whole Conjuring cinematic universe of like Annabelle and the Bye Bye Man and all that. But I saw the third one, very forgettable, but I remember kind of enjoying it. Conjuring 4, the last one. Ed and Lorraine Warren are doing a final case, unless this makes money, and then they'll do another one. Um, and it comes out next year. So I started filming. I don't know, like I just kind of think it's cool that we have, like, I think watching Halloween got me kind of back in the mindset of, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like I like horror, but this is like the only franchise that follows, I feel like, the protagonists instead of the villain, like as it goes along.
Mm.
Like we're Halloween and all that, like yeah, like Laurie Strode comes back in like the other Halloween movies, but it's really Michael Myers. And like Friday the 13th, it's like it's always Jason. It's really, this is like the only franchise where like everything else changes around the heroes. And I think that's pretty cool.
Mm.
I'm trying to think if there's another one right now. I don't think so. I guess Scream kind of, but like not really
Sure.
also. But they even change it because in Scream, like it's not always Sidney Prescott. So, but yeah, Conjuring, into it. I like it.
I need to watch it. I've heard they're great. So
They are, especially the first one. The first one's real, real good.
yeah.
All right. I'm trying to. This one I had to double check to make sure it's real. Do you know what a ViewMaster is? Okay, you know, like the little thing you like, you put the little disc in, and then you put it up to your face, and you go click, click, and it shows you different things in the circle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's ViewMaster. They're making a live action movie about a ViewMaster, and I think there's only one way to do this. You got to make it a horror movie. I think that is the. Well, listen, hear me out. Here's my pitch. Like a teenage girl or whatever finds a ViewMaster in an attic of a creepy house they bought, and a bunch of like the reels, and on it are people like dying that she knows, but they're not dead yet in real life. So she sees them, like how they die, through the ViewMaster, and when she like goes to the next image, then that person she went off of dies, and it's like in that order. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It's a pretty creative idea.
Like I just couldn't, like, how do you do this as like a comedy or something? Like you can't do like a Barbie version of this.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's interesting. Like, do you want like your product associated with like
With death?
like yeah, like I don't know. Like I totally get your take. It's like I think that's a super interesting.
I just don't get how you do as like a comedy or something. Like
I think you're stuck on the mind of the monkey. I think we saw the trailer for the monkey, and it's just like it's sticking.
I'm actually pretty hyped about that. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
Yeah, it does.
See, I'm trying to see if this like article doesn't even say anything about what it could be even close to being about. The quote though is very funny. So the quote from this guy who's making it is basically saying, teaming up with Robbie Brenner and Mattel Films gives us a chance to honor the legacy while creating an entirely new adventure for today's audience. We can't wait to bring this treasured toys sense of exploration to the big screen. I'm sorry. Nobody thinks that when looking at a ViewMaster. Like, nobody is like, I'm literally there. That is not. I think this is going to stink, and I cannot wait. Are there other toy movies? I'm trying to see. List of movies based on toys.
I mean, like Legos.
Yeah, true. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, which is good.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah, it's all like Transformers. Oh yeah, they made those Ouija movies. Ouija movies.
Oh yeah.
Which, see, that's a horror movie. There we go.
Sure.
Oh, Battleship. I forgot about Battleship.
Like the
the
aliens?
Yes. Do you remember that movie?
Yes, I do.
What an insane departure from the game.
Yeah. See. Yeah, what an absolute banger, though.
All right, I'm gonna save the David Cornsweat news till we talk about Superman, so I will wait there.
Right.
Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb is coming back. They are all returning. All the major cast is returning. They're doing a revival. I'm kind of hyped about this. I don't know. I really liked Phineas and Ferb growing up, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't go back to the well unless they actually have something to show for it. You know what I mean?
I would hope so.
Were you a Phineas and Ferb guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I loved it.
That was like the only thing I really watched on Disney Channel after like age 8.
It was like rerun after rerun at my grandparents' house. Like it was always Phineas and Ferb.
Baljeet was my boy. Love that guy.
Yeah.
I also like Candace. I feel like Candace did not get the respect she deserved.
Yeah, she's about to get locked up in a asylum of some sorts. They all thought she was crazy, man. She's like Sophia Falcone, bro. They were going to send her away.
Oh, we're going to talk about... Dude, I cannot talk about yeah. Man, maybe I should watch some of the Phineas and Ferb. It's on Disney Plus. I feel like I could.
Yeah, those are like those are like the category where it's like, I have kids, like I'm bringing up Phineas and Ferb.
I always like the...
I want to rewatch.
The Swinter episode was goated.
Swinter.
It's a Swinter Wonderlands. They make like summer, winter.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful and grand. Yeah, also the music in the show rocked. Taught me what an aglet was.
Yeah.
Good show. Good show. They ran 4 seasons. How many episodes though? I think it ran like 1 million seasons.
Yeah. Summer lasted forever.
Summer did last forever. Oh yeah, they had like the Star Wars episode. They had like a Marvel episode. They had a lot of stuff. It's pretty impressive. All right, Spider-Man 4. We have to talk about it every single week till it releases. Tom Holland said he read the script. He's very excited about it, but he did say it's still kind of in a work in progress phase, but they're very, very excited. He read it in his living room with Zendaya, which, dude, come on. No need to flex like that. Like, come on. What are we doing here? All-time brag moment. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting. It's moving forward. And like, he is a very big Spider-Man fan, and I think he wants to do a small scale thing. And this is the first time he's a producer on it. So I hope that him being there and like being able to help make these decisions keeps the movie more small scale. We'll have to see, but I don't know. Like, if he's pretty excited about it, I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just like, even if it did suck, like, is he like, what's he supposed to say to him?
Well, I think he could have been like, yeah, like I read the first script. We're working through. I feel like he did hype it more than I think he had to. If he didn't like it,
yeah,
like I feel like he could have been like, oh yeah, no, I read the first one. It's at a good stage right now, but we still got a lot of work to do on it. Like, say it like that, where he's like, he really did say it, like, got him very, very excited.
Okay,
he's ready to roll on it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like my king would not lie to me.
Yeah, I would hope he wouldn't.
Oh man. If it's bad, I'm gonna be so sad.
Well, when he said he read it with Zendaya, it's like, does that mean
she
like
in
she's?
it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, are they just like immediately like, well, you forgot about him, but we're gonna bring you back?
I would not be shocked if she's in it in a very small role of like him. I don't know, like him like looking out for her from a distance.
Or I think even just like a sense of like him like seeing her around and like to a certain extent kind of like a reminder of his like old life.
Yeah.
Like, his life looks like now. So like, or even like flashbacks or
like
something.
Those scenes in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he's like watching Gwen Stacy from a distance and she's like going out for their friends. Like I wouldn't be shocked that it's something similar to that.
Yeah. 100%. Watching out for her, but still super creepy.
Yeah, like kind of stalking in like the worst possible way. All right, Looney Tunes. The Day the Earth Blew Up is a movie coming out next year. It is a Looney Tunes movie. It's the first animated Looney Tunes movie to be like in theaters in I think like 40 years, or 30 years or something. And it's going to be in February 2025. And I'm hyped about this. I really like the Looney Tunes, so I'm glad they're like getting a movie again. Because Space Jam 2 kind of stunk.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Space Jam 2, but like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the whole gang. There's a lot to do with that IP. So I think sky's the limit, I don't think it's
like I feel like them and the Muppets are like the two where it's like just do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the Looney Tunes movie is going to make me cry, but I think it can still be good,
Yes. I mean, I just would like to have a turn your brain off funny movie with Looney Tunes. I don't think it's very difficult to ask for.
Yeah. Just have the hunter looking down several rabbit holes as Bugs Bunny just pops out of each one,
Yeah. Have them do like one just slight war crime and like that, and you're good to go. Like that's literally all you have to do. Oh man, I hope it's good. I really, really hope it's good. People need more Looney Tunes in their lives.
Yeah. Roadrunner.
Yeah. I always liked Tweety. Tweety was my boy.
Yeah.
I have a Space Jam jersey I got in like in high school, and it's still
really?
I still wear it every 7 months just to wear it. But yeah, that's about it for Looney Tunes. God of War. As a person who's played only the PS4 God of War, not the original trilogy, I was kind of excited for the show, but they're restarting the entire show. So I guess the original team that they've been working on since March 2022 is just not working out. So the entire like executive team is leaving the show, and they're getting a whole new team, and they're restarting. Which, to be honest, I'm kind of pleased about. Like, if it wasn't working, hit the reset button. You cannot fumble this bag, because God of War could be a huge show, like same like level as like The Last of Us and like Penguin. And so if you just take your time, make sure it's good before it comes out, I'll wait. I'll be happy to wait.
Yeah, I never played any of the games. I was like, I think you guys know, like I was very much like a 2K Madden type kid. I played a couple, so like I played the Spider-Man game. I played the Spider-Man game, which was a blast. But no, I mean, like what happened with like Borderlands was just like, I mean, not exactly that I would compare that, but like, I mean, it is
but that is
video game, and
comparison.
I'm sure there's a pretty big following for that, and I think how that was handled. I mean, I still haven't seen it, so I can't really like downplay it too much, but at least from the, the commercial success that it had,
yeah,
like I can definitely say that in terms of the box office, it was a failure.
Yes, agreed.
So I don't know. I think that they're taking the time is good, because honestly, like I think with Borderlands, that's totally something where they could have been like, well, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's figure this out. But I think they just like, they were like, well, we've already spent all this money on it, so we have to keep going. And it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
So, no, that's cool. I mean, I'd like, it's like the big dude with the axe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. A big dude with an axe running around just chopping.
I think the hardest thing for the show should be like the casting. Like,
sure,
you're gonna find a super jacked dude with like an awesome beard.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for my close up. I'm ready to roll. I guess now we have time. We could get super jacked because they're restarting. So we have a couple of years. We just get really just yoked and be bald with a giant beard, and we're ready to go.
The real steroid podcast.
Yes. How much trend can we do? All right. We talked about Sydney Sweeney. We have to talk about her current best co-star, Glenn Powell, my king. He's doing Running Man. Running Man comes out next year, and Josh Brolin has joined the cast as a villain. And this movie gets better and better every time we talk about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, yeah, Josh Brolin is a villain. Just like,
yeah,
I don't know what else you want. It's like he's amazing.
I mean, you're getting Gurney Halleck to be a villain. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm so ready.
I mean, like, obviously he's the ultimate villain, like Thanos, but like, obviously, like, you know, that's not him. Like, it is him, but it's like a big CGI Josh Brolin, you know.
Yes, yeah.
So I think he's got a lot of gas in the tank, man. I think he's signing up for some good projects. His agent is like finding in some awesome stuff right now. So
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for this. Like, this has jumped up high on next year's most anticipated movie list.
well, speaking of Glenn Powell, so as you know, my brother goes to Georgia.
Yeah.
And for the football game, they had Glenn Powell for the Chad Powers.
Oh, he ran out, didn't he?
He ran out.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my gosh, like my brother's there. Like, and I'd probably call my brother like, bro, like Glenn Powell's there. And he'd be like, who? You know, like, but no, I thought that was kind of funny because it's like he's just at a football game and outruns Glenn Powell.
That's kind of cool they like did that, I think.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though, because it's like obviously they have those scenes so they can run out on the field and stuff, but then I'm very interested to see, because like obviously it's Georgia's field, so I'd like to see what the editing looks like in order to kind of like reconstruct that field.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm assuming they're not going to be playing Georgia, but
they might.
Who knows? Maybe Chad Powers is like that.
Towards the end of the year, we'll do a most anticipated movies of next year, and I think this Running Man movie might be on my top 5.
Really?
Like, I'm looking at some of the options right now on this list, and it's based on right now what I'm looking at. It's I think 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited for the Michael Jackson movie. That might be top 5 as well. Oh my god! Honestly, yeah, we're getting a Jurassic World movie next year. That's insane.
I think I'd like to look back on, because I think you guys did an episode or a draft earlier where you talked about your most anticipated for 2024.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and see how that goes. Back,
yeah, and be like, oh, like, I really wanted this to be good, and be like we're gonna all look back at like Joker, and not that like, but I think like we can all agree it didn't live up to the expectations that we maybe would have had for it. So
it's not. Let me pull that up right now and see how that's doing.
Yeah. I'd like to pull that up when Chuck comes back and kind of like see what he.
I remember I was annoyed at his list. I was like, I think he's picking bad movies, but I think his might be better than mine.
Really? That's funny.
I don't know. I think he picked like all stinkers, which was a shocking thing. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Charles picked all stinkers except for one. That is, I picked 2 stinkers.
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Good.
But we also did a draft, so like we couldn't pick. Oh no, we did. We could pick the same movie. Wow, he picked. Jesus, that's real bad. Okay, we're gonna go through this when Chuck gets back next week, but
yeah,
because all the movies are out now. So, but his number 1. What do you think his number 1 was? For context, my number 1 is Dune 2. It's real bad.
I really don't know what it could be.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh. Yeah, that sucks.
The dude who is obsessed with Lord of the Rings did not pick the Lord of the Rings movie. Insane. All right. Disney, Prince Charming. They're going to make a Prince Charming movie. About time they made one for the fellas. All right. We get our own person to look up to. It's going to be directed by Paul King, who directed the first 2 Paddington movies along with Wonka. So we're getting a Prince Charming movie. I think this could be... I was very out on this until they said Paul King, and then I'm very back in on this. Because I thought Wonka was great, and obviously the first 2 Paddingtons are incredible. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's like it's whatever for me. But like, I think I think the charm for this movie will definitely be there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like it's gonna be just very charming.
100%. I mean, Prince Charming, it has to be, but like, Wonka wasn't anything that blew my mind, but I feel like the feeling and like the coziness of that movie was like you could
Agreed.
feel it through the screen.
It
So
did feel
I
like a
think,
nice warm hug.
yeah. So I think if they can reciprocate that to some capacity, I think it'd be a massive hit.
I just think they should make Prince Charming like cool. I think it's pretty easy to make Prince Charming lame. And I think they should make him cool.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they could be like, oh, he's kind of just like a loser, like obsessed with. But just, make him cool, make Prince Charming cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts on that. Besides, I just like Paul King, so like that's why I was in on it.
Had to.
I would not even really brought it up if Paul King wasn't involved. All right, we talked about it last week. Karate Kid Legends got its first poster coming out May 30th. I am pretty convinced that this is either going to be a 2-star stinker or like a 4.5 star. Like, I'm very impressed. I don't think there's going to be any in between. There's something about this poster I really like, though. Did you see the poster?
Yeah, it's got the Karate Kid in the middle, and then it's got Ralph Macchio and
made me think that you're not into this at all.
I don't know. I just like. I mean, we talked about this last week. Like, I've seen the Karate Kid movies. I've seen the original. I've seen the new one. I just don't. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe that's something I try and revisit over the next couple months. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I really liked it, I maybe would have watched Cobra Kai. But like, I don't know where this is like.
No, I'm okay. I don't need to watch
coming from.
I'm all good.
I don't know where this is coming from. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad people enjoy it, but
why they're doing this again?
I don't like. Not that what my bubble does is like everything, but I genuinely do not know a single person that watches Cobra Kai.
I think Cobra Kai is watched by like 30-year-olds and like 12-year-olds.
Gotcha.
I think it kind of skips us.
Yeah, we talked about that. I don't know. I just like. I don't know. Maybe this is the Top Gun Maverick of the Karate Kid, though. So.
Could you imagine? Oh my god!
Who knows?
If it's like 60% of Top Gun Maverick, I would be so happy. I'd be like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I just think my personal interest for the Karate Kid movies isn't necessarily as high as other people's. So I think that's why. Not that I'm like out on this, but I'm just kind of like. It is what it is. We'll see what the trailer looks like.
Yeah. Okay. I can get behind this. I think this is a big trailer. Sets the tone for the whole movie, kind of. Because, I mean, all they gotta do is play like you're the best around and have some cool fights, and I'm pretty pleased with what we got. I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Karate Kid Legends. American Psycho. They're gonna quote unquote not remake, but also remake American Psycho. It's gonna be more based on the book. It's gonna be directed by Luca Guadagnino, who is probably best known for working with Timothée Chalamet like a million times. Let me look up his filmography for you.
Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name, Bones and All,
Challengers.
I don't know. I really like American Psycho, so I'm not like super into this, but also it comes down to casting for me.
Yeah.
Like if you cast a great Patrick Bateman, I'm fully back in.
And like the question is like I think this was just a matter of time for like when this would happen, for how popular the movie's gotten in terms of just like meme culture. I feel like how popular it's been, but then also like how much of a movie it's like people actually like.
I'm with you. I saw people fan casting, what's his name? Jacob Elordi. I'd be in on that. I'd be in with that. Because I think he's got like the like the banker vibes, but also like he's a little bit, I feel like he's a little bit creepy. Maybe that's just because of Euphoria. I
don't know. I just feel like they need to try and do their own Patrick Bateman. They can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be Christian Bale's Bateman, because if they try to be Christian Bale's Bateman, then I think it's just going to be, it's like, you're not going to outdo Christian Bale on his Bateman impersonation. So like, try something new,
Yeah.
I think that's where you have an opportunity to like, make this a home run is if you actually like try something new. I mean, obviously they want to play it by the book, so I get that. But like in terms of like the way he talks, like I don't know. So I've seen some people like fan casting like Austin Butler, which like
Maybe.
I don't know if I'm 100% on that, but like
I think
honestly,
I'm trying to think. I think it'd be more interesting like now, because like I know the book takes place like in the 80s, but I think if you shifted the time to like guys
yeah,
now, I think that would be maybe a more interesting commentary,
sure,
because like the whole thing is like toxic masculinity and like all of the stuff that rich people get away with. So like, if you shifted it to today, where there's like the fake feminist guys who like basically just pretend to be feminists to like try to get girls, I think that would be kind of an interesting angle. But apparently they're trying to do more of the book accurately, so we'll have to
gotcha.
wait and see. I just think that you could do it in an interesting way.
Yeah,
And if anyone's going to do it in an interesting way, it's probably Luca Guadagnino, who really only makes original movies. And so the fact he's doing this makes me think he's pretty into an idea he has.
yeah. Let's see Paul Allen's LinkedIn.
Yeah. Let's see Paul Allen's snap score. But yeah. They need to redo that scene in like just in an awesome way.
100%.
Yeah, how do they do business cards now? Where people don't really have business cards anymore.
People have like the things they like scan on their phones.
Yeah, let's see Paul Allen's
like,
QR code.
Yeah.
That
sounds so goofy.
Let's see Paul Allen's Robinhood. How's he doing? Did he invest in GameStop? But yeah, so that's American Psycho for some reason. Rick and Morty. Are you a Rick and Morty guy? I am. I like it. I'm not like obsessed. Like some people are obsessed with it. Yeah. I just like it. I think it's a pretty decent show. I think it's an all-time fumbled the bag show, if I'm being honest. Like it was the biggest show. And then they took like 2 years off and everyone was just like, eh. So not great. But it is confirmed it will continue till at least season 12. It got renewed for season 12. And season 8 releases next year. So we're getting probably at least another half a decade, if not more, with Rick and Morty. I think my take is, even though I'm a fan of the show, is they should have found an ending around season 4 or 5, and I think it would have went down as one of the better animated shows ever. Now I'm worried getting into the level of Simpsons and Family Guy. And look, if that's what they want to be, then that's what they want to be. But I think it could have been something more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just watched the first part of the first season. I liked it. I think it was a good show. I think that seems to be like the general consensus that like they kind of like have gone away from what made it so great recently.
It seems like at least my opinion was the first 3 seasons were pretty great. Like all 3 seasons were pretty great, and then season 4 and 5 went down a little bit for me, and season 6 was kind of down, but then season 7 and 8 I feel like have picked up. Like I feel like it's coming back up. So hopefully they keep that trend up, because I think season 7 was pretty solid. Like all in all, I think they had like 2 episodes that kind of missed for me, but overall it was pretty solid. So if you can just make Rick and Morty a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 show, sure, I'm in all day.
Yeah,
it's just hopefully. All right, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is got a teaser poster. It reveals that Toy Freddy is going to be in the movie. I'm not a big into the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I watched all those game theory videos back in the day where they were trying to figure out who the Purple Man was. So that's not really all I know, but I do remember Toy Freddy because I remember playing the second game. And so I'm kind of, I don't know, it just looks great. Like the fact that is a real thing that they made and it's on set is insane. I thought that was like a render. And also I kind of liked the first one. It wasn't great, but it was decent. And I think they know the mistakes they made in the first one, so hopefully the second one is better. And I don't know, I'm just kind of in on this. I like these schlocky, not so great horror movies.
Yeah, I think they're fun. I mean, I think that obviously the props and the set is fun to look at. And obviously I love like Matthew Lillard. So like having him back, like, I think it should be
Matthew
a good
Lillard and Josh Hutcherson. Like, give me the boys.
Like, I agree. It wasn't my favorite movie last year, but like I literally went to the movies with friends and like I had a good time, you know?
I think also it knew its audience, which is very
Yeah.
important. Like, it wasn't very scary, which, makes sense. But also it wasn't really meant for like an adult audience. Like, they wanted like 12-year-olds can go see this as like their first horror movie.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good choice overall. But I think in the second one they can, up the scares a little bit.
100%.
I also forgot that the game theory guy was in this movie. I'm looking at the cast right now and he's like on here. I kind of forgot he was in this. I wonder if they're gonna put more YouTubers in this. But yeah. All right. Now we've talked about some of the Comic-Con because New York Comic-Con just happened. So some of the stuff came out from there that we've talked about. But the main two things are coming up next. Daredevil Born Again got its premiere date coming in March 2025. I'm very pumped for this. This is like my most anticipated show of next year. Easily. Love Daredevil. I am beyond excited for this. Did you ever watch Daredevil?
Unfortunately, I did not.
See, now's a good time to catch up. You got time.
Yeah.
You got time to catch up because it is easily the best Marvel show and maybe one of the best things Marvel's ever done.
Yeah. No, I've heard amazing things about it, but I think it's going to be interesting to see if the continuation kind of lives up to that hype, just because I know that the original had such high they just were so successful in portraying the characters. So I think it's going to be interesting how they try and blend that with the MCU to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they've had a ton of they've like rewritten the script or the storyline like several times, right? Like
So yeah, originally it was supposed to be something very different from the original show. And then it came basically that like leaked and a lot of fans were like, are you serious? Like, what are we doing here? And then I guess it wasn't great, like what they kind of came up with. So they went back to the drawing board and they're now doing basically a season 4. Like, yes, it's going to be called something different, but it's going to pretty much be season 4.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the choice you want to make. Because why would you not want that to be like you had an awesome, awesome show? Why not just do more of it?
Yeah. So. I'm with you.
But yeah. All right. 2 Superman things back to back. Number 1, David Cornsweet is going to star in a Mr. Irrelevant movie. He is going to star as John Tuggle, who was the final pick of the 1983 NFL draft. And I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Like, I think that's a cool idea. I thought when I first read this, it was going to be a Brock Purdy movie. And I was like, that's very soon to do a Brock Purdy movie. But no, it's going to be about this guy, Tuggle, who I don't really know. John Tuggle.
I don't either.
John Tuggle. Cool. But yeah, so that is going to happen in the next couple of years. And then the other thing was Superman. So before we talk about the Superman and Krypto picture, which is off to the side right here, and it's incredible. At Comic-Con, they did like James Gunn did like his Creature Commandos panel, basically. And he talked about Creature Commandos for the majority of time, but then he was also asked about the other stuff going on. He said Lanterns is doing very well. He's very excited about it. He says like it's coming together really strongly. He also revealed that the guy that just cast as Jon Stewart, whose name escapes me right now, you know what I'm talking about though. He was almost Adam Warlock. So like he's been waiting to work with this guy for a minute. And then Supergirl is starting to film in January. So that's moving along pretty strongly. And then he talked about Superman. And he did a good joke where he was like, I actually don't have the teaser on me. Someone in the audience does. So attack everybody and let's find out who has it. But he talked about how David Cornsweet is going to blow people like away. Like he's like, even he was shocked at how good he was. And I feel like obviously a director is going to say that, you know, about whatever they're doing. But it just feels different when James Gunn says it because he's done this before. Like he pulled Chris Pratt. Yes, Chris Pratt was very funny and good in Parks and Rec, but like he was never the leading action man in Parks and Rec. And he created Chris Pratt basically. And so I just feel like I just feel like he's got a track record of this, and like something about it. I think this movie's gonna be incredible. I'm just so excited for it.
Yeah, and I honestly like. I thought it was funny because I don't know too much about, you know, Krypto. But
oh yeah, you texted you like, who's this guy?
Well, the what I texted in the group chat was just like the meme, you know, like the meme, like what the dog doing, you know?
Yeah.
I just texted that, but I was like, I really didn't know too much about this, but like after looking at the backstory, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it just sounds like, you know, James Gunn essentially like there was this dog that had like, you know, some serious problems, and he like adopted it and kind of like helped him. And obviously I want to say like Krypto in the actual comics does not look like that dog, but
he did. In the original comics, he was like that little scraggly dog, and then as it evolved over time, he became more of like a white.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really know a lot of dogs, but like more of like a bigger white dog, like kind of like a white golden retriever dog.
Sure. Okay. No, but I like the whole backstory behind it. Kind of like, you know, he wanted it to remind him of like his dog, and like, I mean, dude, anyone mentions dogs, I mean, I'm in. You know, it's like,
yeah, I'm like fully in on this. This looks awesome.
Plus that, I mean, I saw that picture just like everywhere on my feed, and it was just beautiful. So the cat, like
this should have been the reveal image.
Yeah,
this should have been the first thing we saw.
No,
but also I'm so glad we got it. Like the S on the back of the cape is just awesome. It is so awesome. Like he looks so good. This, I've been thinking about it a lot. This is my most anticipated movie ever. Like beats Endgame, beats Infinity War. Like it's this. Like this is the one. And I cannot wait. And I think we're going to get a teaser before the end of the year. They're saying it's going to attach to something that Warner Brothers is doing. And Charles is not here, so I could say this. I think they're going to attach it to Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty, because that's the last like big Warner Brothers thing for the year. I think that saying the Superman trailer would be attached to it gives it a good box office boost. And oh, dude, when this releases, I want to become the most insufferable human being alive. Like, I cannot wait for like this and Fantastic Four, like, but no, it's really this. It's just this is going to be. Let's see, Warner. I'm going to see if there's any other leases this year.
Is Warner Bros. Doing Wicked?
No, I don't think so.
Who's in charge of Wicked this year?
Oh, they're doing Red 1. Maybe it's gonna be Red 1. You know what it could be actually. So they have Lord of the Rings, but then also Mickey 17 at the end of January. I would not be shocked if we saw the first trailer with Mickey 17 and then it ran again with the Super Bowl like 2 weeks later.
Yeah. I love the trailers of the Super Bowl.
I think for sure we're gonna get that trailer then. Like no matter what, it's coming probably before the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
they were saying that 2025 is the year of Superman, which is so exciting. I'm so glad he's back. It's been way too long.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't think I'm as excited as you are, but like, I mean, we're almost 9 months out.
Yeah.
So like
we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're gonna start to get the Lego sets to leak that'll tell us plot lines that are definitely not a part of the story. Pops. The Funko Pops are coming out. Like, oh, man, dude,
R.I.P. Hunter's bank account.
No, seriously. Once the hot toy for this drops and it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, I have to buy. Oh, speaking of that, my Deadpool one apparently shipped, so it should be here in the next few days. So by next week's episode, I will be able to showcase the Deadpool hot toy that I bought.
That's awesome.
I do too many. I justify purchases so easily. Like it's bad. Like when I bought that one, I was like, well, I graduated college. So I was like, all right, that's pretty good justification. But then like I'll do something like so small, and I'm like, well, I think I deserve something. Like, I'll be like, oh, I did good at work the last 3 days. I feel like I deserve a treat. So
yeah.
it's just bad. But man, this picture is incredible. It's already my phone background. Like
That's awesome.
I'm pumped.
No, I'm excited. I think it's been cool to see, like, obviously, like, superheroes kind of mean something to everyone, but then it's like seeing like what certain superheroes mean to certain people. So it's like actually being able to like see that. And I think this movie wants to send that message that, like, I think over the past few years, obviously we've gotten those big superhero movies, but like a very down to earth superhero, like Superman movie that is like him at his like bare bones.
I think most hopeful too. Like it's been a while since we've gotten like a hopeful hero. Like think of the last things that released. Like, okay, Deadpool's pretty like positive, but he's also, a killing machine. We got a very dark Batman. Penguin's very dark right now. Like, I just think it's going to be fun and really strong to have a hero that's like so positive and like just happy to be there. So we really haven't gotten it in like the last little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me as well. All right, trailer time. Invincible season 3 gave us a little teaser. It's not gonna be broken up into part 1, part 2. We're gonna have the whole season week to week, which is pretty awesome. They made fun of it in the trailer, basically taking like, well, you took a vacation for 6 months, and he's like, well, it was more like 4. So I'm very excited for Invincible. This is one of the better shows on TV as well, and I think they're getting into a great arc right now where he wears the blue suit. So I'm pretty pumped about this.
I've only seen the first episode.
Dude, you gotta get. I guess no. You don't want to. But like, Charles is a big Invincible guy, so I'm a little bummed that he's not here for that. We'll talk about it next week with him, maybe.
I've heard it's great. So I don't know. I mean, if you say it looks good, then
it does. The animation I think was a little different for some reason this teaser.
Yeah.
So have to see if that carries over, but I'm pretty excited about it. So Invincible. Maybe let's do the animation stuff first. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, coming to Netflix. I think on Christmas Day. Yeah, yes, please. I mean, what? This looks awesome. Are you out on this? You don't seem in on this.
I've never seen any of their movies. Never seen any like Wallace and
Gromit.
I know that's like it's not like a cult following, but like the people that like it like really like it.
I really like it. I'm not as like into it as some people are, but I very much like it.
Yeah, I mean, watching this, I was just kind of like, I think is it like claymation, right?
Yeah. So it's claymation. We're getting the villain back from probably the most famous thing, which is The Wrong Trousers. So Feathers McGraw is back. He's the Penguin. He's the bad guy. And I just love claymation. There's something about it that like it's just like so. It's like cozy. It's like Paul King movies. It's like, yes, I'm in on this. So yeah, Wallace and Gromit coming to Netflix very soon. Like actually really soon. Christmas is not very far away.
And it's not. We're about 2 months out right now.
Yeah. Should we do all the Netflix movies first?
I guess there's an abundance of them.
All right, this next one. This is the one I wanted to talk about Red One about. Carry On.
Okay.
This is the better version of Red One this year. Is Carry On. Like you're doing a holiday movie that's like not very traditional. This is the one. This one's gonna be way better. I was like really into this trailer. I thought this rocked.
I think I'm interested. I don't know. I'm gonna need to see a little bit more. Or maybe really see a little bit more.
I think this cast is really good. Like I really like Jason Bateman. Taron Egerton, I think is great. And I think the premise is very cool.
The premise is interesting. I just think I think how they set up the character early on in the movie and how they kind of like, because if I don't feel like I'm attached to this guy at all, then I'm just like, if I feel
then you're not going to care.
I'm not going to care. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Honestly, I'm not like hating on it, but I think it's It looks interesting. Potentially could get a watch.
I think I'm gonna watch this. I think I'm gonna watch this just because I want to compare it to Red One and which one I like more.
I think they have two very different audiences.
No. It's the audience is me. I'm the audience. I don't know. Like I really liked the vibe of this one.
Sure, I did. I think I did. The vibe of the trailer was very a lot of suspense, kind of wanting you to figure out like what's gonna happen. So I think it's like I set it up
Also,
very
no
well.
need to be. I'm not trying to be a hater to TSA agents, but like Taron Egerton is the most in shape TSA agent there's ever been. Like he is in great shape, and I feel like
he was like running. He was running at some point. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
But also, I would never put the earpiece in my ear. Like, come on. That was the first thing I was like, no way. I'd never do that.
Hey, don't mess with TSA.
I guess so. Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about it last week with the teaser poster. Or I guess teaser. It was what was a poster? It was poster. The Electric State. What do we think?
I'm not out on it just yet. I think the robots and stuff look interesting, and especially for the budget of that scale. I think this has to be an intentional. The look of the robots has to be intentional. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not like blown away by how they look, but I feel like if you have a budget that's this big, I feel like I don't know. Not to say that the robots look bad, but I don't think they look what I would think they would look like from like what we talked about and kind of the clip you showed me.
Mm-hmm.
Or the kind of like picture. So I think I was kind of like caught off guard by that, but like I don't know. I mean, really don't know what this is about still. I mean, it sounds like what, going to find her brother or something like that.
I think so.
And like, I don't know. I'm always open for an adventure for, self-discovery. And
it's just a shame that Millie Bobby Brown will never actually watch this movie because she doesn't watch his movies. So
I want to, yeah, no, that's what, I don't know. As soon as she said that, not that like, I just like wasn't interested in her as an actress. It's just like
that's
come
so
on,
boring.
Like, you make movies like, you know how many people like love movies and they're like, I want to be in the film industry because of what movies mean to me. And then
and she's like, I'm good.
Not to say like she should care about them, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you're making this type of art, you should at least like want to watch it, share that feeling with other people. Like, I don't know. I think it just kind of hit me the wrong way.
No, I'm with you.
I want to hear what you think about this movie, and then I have something to add. Right after.
I thought it looked very fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't really move the needle for me from like a 5 out of 10 anticipation level. Like I'm gonna watch this just because I like Chris Pratt a lot, but it just looked very average, which does get me worried about Avengers. Like that was my main thing I took away from this. Was I was like, okay, this will probably be fine. Like I'll be like, all right, a solid, 6.5, 7, Netflix movie, whatever. But like these are the guys that are supposed to be like, we're bringing Doom into the MCU. Like we're doing it, and like you can't just blame Anthony and Joe Russo, like the Russo brothers. Like this is their writers too. Like this is the guys who wrote those movies and are going to write the next one. Like so. That is more my thought from it. I do like Chris Pratt's hair though. I think it looks very fun. His hair is shocking, and I like it quite a bit. So,
look at this. So this is what I thought was funny from the trailer. So you have the trailer, and everything's like probably like halfway through. It shows it says the Russo brothers, or it says the directors of.
Oh my! I know what you're talking about.
It shows Captain America: Civil War.
Yep.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Endgame.
Yep.
And the known masterpiece,
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man.
I was shocked.
I was like, that reminded me of like the meme with like the dragons, and it's
the
like
Gray Man is a crazy pull.
Like compared to those, like I didn't hate the Gray Man. Did I think it was like anything like
not
amazing?
Good.
Like not really. Like I thought it was like I walked in there. I was like, was I entertained? Sure. Was that a good movie? Not really.
Why not
But,
also put Civil War if you're gonna do the if you're gonna do 4, do Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, and the Winter Soldier. There's your 4.
no,
There's the
I
4
think
you
that,
brag about.
I don't think they put the Winter Soldier. I think
See,
they put
why? That's the
Civil
best
War.
one on the list. That's the best one you could have done.
It's so funny because I was just like, that just made me laugh because I'm just like, you're gonna talk about these movies, but then like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's their one of their most recent movies, so like,
yeah, but it was forgettable, so like no one
no, I
probably
know,
remembers it.
I know. But
Also,
I
these
that was
guys
hilarious.
cannot not work with Marvel actors. It is very funny to see that. Like, so they did Cherry with Tom Holland, then they went to The Gray Man and Chris Evans, and now we have Chris Pratt here.
Yeah, they love Marvel actors.
I cannot wait to review this for the podcast. It's gonna be Wait, isn't it like next year though? Also, it's not like this year. Yeah, it's next year. It's March. It's like 6 months from now.
That's kind of like the dead period, though. You know, like March is
so.
like I feel like January to March, like the first quarter is always super slow. For the
Not
movies.
next year. Remember next year we took it. February is packed. February is packed with stuff. Something we're gonna talk about here in a minute. But first, The Monkey. The Monkey is from Oz Perkins, who directed this year Longlegs. I would like you to give your opinion first.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Longlegs. I think Longlegs was a good movie. It's something like, I think people's expectations for it were way too high. I think the marketing campaign did a good job of bringing people into the movie, and that was their job. But I think for like, in terms of like critics and like analyzing the movie, I think by saying it was the scariest movie in like the past decade, I think it may have hurt the movie a little bit because like,
I do think it did give it a disservice. Yes.
I don't think it was still a great movie. One that I have like at the top of my rankings for this year, you know, like I loved it. But I think kind of like the continuation, like the follow up on that. I really like this idea. I think this idea is interesting. It's very like creative. There's a lot going on.
I like the tone. It's like a little bit funny, which I like.
Yeah, it's got Theo James is gonna be like the main character.
Yeah, Theo James deserves some more.
Okay.
I think he's very good at most things he is. And
I'm honestly I'm in on this. Like when this comes out, like I will be. This is Netflix.
No, this is in theaters.
Okay, good.
Theaters end of February 21st, 2025.
Because I think those are like fun movies to go see with a packed crowd. Because it's like you get like the gasps from people, or you get like, I don't know, like
that's how I felt about we're just talking about the other one.
Longlegs.
Yeah, Longlegs. So he was doing his like, let me in now, and people just being like, what is going on? That was like, that made it better.
Yeah, I think kind of sharing that experience with people is fun. I haven't seen a lot of horror movies in theaters, but I will say, like, when I have, like, seeing them in theaters is just an amazing experience. So I'm really pumped for this, I think. And he said it's Stephen King. It's a Stephen King.
It's like a Stephen King like short story, I guess, that this is based on.
Yeah. But what about you?
Yes, I'm with you. I thought this looked pretty decent. Kind of funny we're getting 2 monkey movies back to back Februarys because we got the Monkey Man this year and now we're doing this next year. I was very in on this. I think the best one too is like, it seems like it's not holding back, which I think is very good, like a strong choice. Because I think you could have done this where it's like, oh, the monkey, I don't know. It seems like when the monkey does something, then someone dies a horrific death. It seems like these deaths are gonna be very over the top, which I think is good. Yeah. Like the one where the lady's jumping in the pool and he's like, wait. Like I thought that was a good little. Yeah. I just like that. So I'm in on this. Also, the monkey toy is so creepy. It is the creepiest looking thing ever. Like, why would anyone ever want to keep that? But yeah, I'm in on this. I'm pretty pumped. I'm not gonna lie. And all right, we'll save our HBO shows for last. Another January release, Wolfman. Wolfman had its trailer. We got a teaser a couple weeks ago, but now this is the full trailer. Very different from what I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I thought this would be very straightforward, and this is very different. And I kind of appreciate that it's different. I think that's a better choice now that I'm thinking about it. It's directed by Lee Winnell, who directed The Invisible Man, which came out a couple years ago, which I really liked. I really, really liked The Invisible Man. I think this looks pretty decent. Like, I thought this was gonna be bad, and I'm kind of thinking it looks great.
Yeah, I'm not fully in on it yet. I
like the
really
idea.
sure
I like the
why.
idea quite a
Yeah,
bit. Like, of them
I agree.
trapped in this house.
And like the dad is the one. Like it's like, what if one of
He's
your loved
turning.
ones were to be? Yeah,
Yeah.
like how would you deal with that situation? Because like obviously, like anyone outside that situation would be like, we obviously like kill him. Like
Yeah.
like, but obviously, like the family members, they're like they don't want to, you know. So I think it is an interesting story because I think the initial trailer just very much seemed like, oh, like someone outside of their family was Wolfman. So like,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. They have my interest. I don't know. I think it looks good, and then it's got
I think it's gonna come down to design. Like, I feel like I haven't seen what he
sure,
looks like yet, and if he looks cool, it's gonna elevate this by quite a bit.
yeah,
Also, this was supposed to be Ryan Gosling. Like, he was cast in this movie. And I think he had to drop out for some reason. So like,
huh?
this was supposed to be the Goss God, and it's just
That's crazy.
it's not. But yeah, in on this. It is releasing in January though, so could be a stinker. But it's in that slate of January 2025 movies, which is quite a bit. There's one over a couple weeks ago, or yeah, this is the week after Den of Thieves 2. Man, and also the week before Flight Risk. Cannot wait. And three-ish weeks before Mickey 17. Man, pumped. All right, the last two things are HBO shows. Let's start with Dune Prophecy. I'll be honest, I was kind of out on this idea for a while, and then this trailer sold me. This trailer brought me back in, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. Specifically, Mark Strong looks very good in this, especially after his performance as Carmine in The Penguin. I kind of am in the Mark Strong can do no wrong category right now. So, Dune Prophecy, looking good.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man.
I just hope they don't. I don't know. I hope they don't go too deep into it.
Yeah.
Like, if you just give me a strong story about like the sisterhood and all that, I think it could really amplify Dune. But don't make it so important that like, oh, Dune 3 doesn't hit as hard if you haven't seen the show. I think this should just be a complete prequel. Like, don't really make it that important. But I will say, for the going from the movie to TV, it keeps the visual style pretty strongly.
Yeah, it looks great.
And I like that they're not on Arrakis, really, it seems like ever.
Yeah.
That differentiates it in quite a strong way.
Because there's so much to this world outside of like
yeah.
and it's just
I also think this is a great opportunity because at the end of Dune 2, obviously, they're going to go after all the other houses. This can show us the houses, yeah, and be like, all right, we have some context of where these people live and like what their societies are like. And then when Paul goes and does this war against all of them, we'll be ready to get an understanding when they're like, oh, welcome to House Jacobson, and we're like, oh, what's that? Now we know because this thing.
Yeah.
They should actually have a very like normal name. They should all be weird names. Then it's just like, welcome to House Smith. So
that'd be fine.
But yeah, I'm pumped for this. And last but certainly not least, the first thing in the DCU, the first thing that they want you to think about when you see this new DC Universe, Creature Commandos. What'd you think?
I think it's really interesting that he's trying to like introduce it with. I kind of wish he would have introduced the DCU another way.
Yeah, this is a bold choice. This is like a very bold choice because you could have, even if the show is done, you could have been like, it comes out after Superman. It could have come out next fall. But like they're starting with this.
Maybe they're like they don't want to like put all the pressure on Superman or one of the other things to like pull through. So maybe this is just like, I don't know. Like I don't expect this to be like to blow my mind, to be like anything crazy. Like I think it'll be fine.
I will say, so I watched a video like a deep dive video on this. So part of the reason apparently this is before is because Rick Flag Sr. is going to be in Superman. And also there's an alleged rumor Great Assault right now, that the Creature Commandos are going to be the villains in Brave and the Bold, which is the Batman movie coming up. And we got to see a tease of a Batman character in this. There was Clayface in this trailer. So that's pretty cool. That we're going to get like a, fantastical Batman, because we've really had very grounded Batman forever, it seems like. Yeah. So it's kind of cool we get like a... I also like the idea that these characters are going to be played by the same people in live action. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
That allows you to do some interesting stuff. Like, you could have Superman appear like in an animated show, and it'd be way cheaper than like getting David Cornsworth to show up in person. He could just record lines like at his house, and then he's in the show. The action, I thought the action was really strong in this trailer. Like, they did not hold back, which I think is pretty awesome. It's gonna be interesting to see, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's hard sometimes tone wise to go from, a hardcore R-rated thing to like, all right, if Superman punches a guy and we've seen that this is the level of violence in this universe, he should like explode on contact. So like, it's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of balance that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty surprised by this trailer. I think this looked a lot better than I thought it was going to look. If James Gunn can pull this off, I'm going to be very impressed. Because like, I really love DC. I just feel like they need to do something. And I think that I really hope that he does. I really hope he pulls this off. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I think everyone, especially with like Marvel, not that, I mean, Marvel still had some gems the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think people are rooting for DC. I don't think anyone wants to see them fail. Like,
I think it also pushes each other. Like they need someone to push them. Like Marvel, I feel like has gotten very complacent. And if you have a DC that's really showing up and being like, banger, 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 like Marvel has to also think to themselves, okay, we cannot just put out 7 out of 10s consistently. Like, we need to put out extremely high quality stuff all the time. And I think that's good. We created the free market.
Yeah.
all we did was just create the free market. And this is just basically like, they're just doing Suicide Squad again, right? Like, this is, that's all.
No, I know.
It's insane that this is the third version of Suicide Squad we've gotten in like the last 7 years. We've gotten more Suicide Squads than we've gotten Green Lanterns, which is just gross. But yeah, that is Creature Commandos. That is it for trailers. Quick reviews. As always, I will do my Agatha All Along recap. So this was the episode that was all about the teen. Joe Locke plays the teen. This was his backstory. Thought this was not. That was fine. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just so fine that there's nothing really, like, it does not move the needle for me in any single way, shape, or form. We got Ralph Boner back, which is just shocking that he is agreeing to this. Like, it's like, dude, bring me back as Quicksilver. Don't bring me back at all. Like, I cannot believe he showed up and did that. I don't know. It's just so average. And like, people online, like, look, I get, if this is your thing, this is your thing. People online are like, this is the greatest thing ever. It's like, you need to watch some other stuff. Like, you need to be looking other places for your content, because like, that is crazy if you're like, this is so good. So
yeah, I watched as soon as you texted in the group chat that the cameo, I was like, I'll go check it out. So I go online and it's like zooming in on the back, and then they're like, was it Bonerific 69? Or like some like, I was like, dang, bro, all that just to lead up to a boner joke. Again. Hey,
at least they're consistent. You know what? At least they're consistent.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's it for Agatha, really. I think that I really got nothing. Like, I think maybe at the end it'll come together and be something special, but right now it is just extremely average. Apparently the best episode's the last 3. So I don't know. All right, that's it. Let's talk about Penguin. Penguin Sient Ani. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but this is the Sofia Falcone episode. We said it was going to happen last week on the pod. We said this is going to be an episode all about her. It very much was, and it very much was the best. Like, it is so good. The show is amazing, and you know what? I don't want to talk about Agatha anymore, but like seeing this and Agatha in the same week makes you realize how bad Agatha is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I like going into this episode. I think it was like weird because for the Penguin, I expected it to be good, but I did not expect it to be on this level. Like after the first episode finished, I was like, all right, well, like that was really good. Like I don't know if they're gonna be able to top that.
Yeah.
Next episode.
It's like getting better every week.
Each episode they've gotten better. The storyline for each character's like the crazy thing is now it's like obviously they've gotten us to where we root for Oz, but like after watching this episode, it's kind of like you kind of want to root for Sophia. I mean, like
yeah,
all the crap that happened with her was like so leading up. I wasn't sure if I'd gotten this right but like they had left a bunch of like breadcrumbs that like she didn't actually kill those people in the first couple episodes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then like this one,
I was under the impression though that it was like I thought it was going to be that the twist or something that about her was that she was the only one that like a DA or something could go after in the crime family. So he like or like they went after her to kind of get back at the Falcones.
Yeah.
Not that it was her dad, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. It's funny because like I'll talk to some friends about the Penguin and I'll like, oh, like you guys watch the Penguin this week? And they're like, yeah. But as soon as one of my friends finished the episode, he like texted me. He's like, dude, did you watch the episode this week? And I was like, I haven't watched it. He's like, dude, it's amazing.
It is. It was so good.
Like,
this is easily the best Arkham that we've seen on screen ever. Like this Arkham is awesome. It's also very funny that it comes out right after Joker 2, and like it makes their Arkham look so much worse in comparison.
Yeah. I mean, I think with that final scene where she's going around the house and she grabs her niece.
Yes.
I was honestly, I don't know about you, like obviously looking back on it, like she would never harm the child, but like in the moment, I was very much kind of like, what is she gonna do? Like, is she gonna like hurt the kid? You know? So like I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like I honestly thought for a second she might do something to the kid.
I never thought she'd do something to the kid. I was more of the impression that maybe she would do like I don't know. I just never thought she would do something to the kid. I didn't think she was gonna do I thought she was gonna do something, but like not negative.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed with Kristen Miliotti's performance here. Like I was like, she's incredible. Like, this whole episode, like the transformation she went on was so good.
Yeah.
She took down the entire family except for Johnny Vitti. Johnny Vitti lives. Johnny Vitti lives, and I'm very excited to see why they chose to have him live. I mean, man, she was so good here. She's so good, dude. The show is so awesome.
And I think what was like done so well is how they portrayed her in the first half of this episode as opposed to the back half. And how she like literally just her posture, the way she speaks, like
the confidence manner, she gained is like
it's crazy.
Big time. And also, like, yeah.
How shitty like Oz was treated. Like honestly, I don't like he was just like he'd be like, oh yeah, like is everything all right? And she'd be like, no, like, I hate you, Oz. Like, you're nothing to me. Like, you're just my driver. And he'd be like, okay.
That's why he turned on her.
And like, honestly, I totally see why. I mean, he would after so long. It's like somebody just like beating down on you. It's like, how long are you going to take it? You know?
Yeah. I also think that we're gonna get a repeat of that scene later on in the show with Vic and Penguin. I think that is going to happen again, but Penguin's going to see it. Like, he'll be driving somewhere, they're going to get like that, and like Penguin's going to see he's thinking the same thing I was thinking in that moment, but I can't let him turn on me. I cannot let it happen again. And Vic's not making it to this show.
Yeah. I would love for her to make it out of the show. I really would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because I don't think when they end the show, it's like he has to be in power 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he could just be like, well, he goes his way, they go their way, and they're just like having basically like a war, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hopeful that she somehow stays involved, but at the same time, I don't know. You know, maybe she's just signed on for the show, and maybe she's not signed on for the movie. So
we'll have to see.
I don't know. She's amazing though. She's so good.
But yeah, that's all I got. New episode tonight. Very pumped. I hope it, hits the same highs that we expect.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't, I think it'd be like.
Even if they just maintain, if they just maintain like around the same thing.
Yeah.
Come on, like that's awesome.
100%.
So yeah, let's get into a review. Halloween, 1978. I will first and foremost start off by saying Charles's review. He gave it 2.5 stars, and he's wrong. He is wrong. First and foremost, Charles is wrong. He's not here to defend himself, so I can say it as much as I want. Charles is wrong. 2.5 stars is insane for this movie. Okay, but now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about Halloween. Halloween released in 1978. I'll read the little synopsis here. 15 years after murdering his sister, Halloween night in 1963, Michael Myers escapes from the mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, to kill again. Starring Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, and PJ Souls. What'd you think? We can do spoilers. This movie's from 1978. Yeah. We're going to talk about the whole thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I think from like this being like such a classic, like when people talk about like the slasher kind of genre, like this is like what started it, Mm-hmm. Like I feel like this is what started like a massive like franchise of like Scream. And I mean, honestly, I'd even say like, like Thanksgiving last year, it's like there's an abundance of movies that have just been directly connected to this movie. And I think almost everyone I know holds this movie in such high regard. So I think I did have really high expectations. And I think parts of it exceeded it and then parts of it didn't. But like, I think for a movie that's almost 50 years old, I was really impressed. I mean, obviously, like the score is like insane. It's like, because you could play like, in my mind, I was thinking like, what if you didn't have the score and you just played like some silly, goofy music? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You'd be kind of like chuckling. You'd be like, haha, this is like super funny, I think the like Michael Myers introduction at the beginning of the movie was like, I did not see that coming. I thought he was going to already be established as, Michael Myers and like and this just like kind of some lore that we'll figure out along the way. But like, I think I do like the fact that they kind of gave us a little insight into like his childhood and like kind of like what took him. And like, I like the whole part of the movie with the doctor and kind of like
Dr. Loomis. Yeah.
Yeah. I
it was really just like, we need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a doctor, but it's time for him to go.
I wish he would have gone a little bit more in depth, but I think like it feeds into the mystery. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if he talks too much about him, then it's like we know so much about him. But I think him being this mysterious figure, which works for me.
I'm with you.
I think it's crazy because to like for someone to create like a serial killer that's like does not run, like it sounds so stupid, but it's terrifying.
And like Michael's relatively like slow. Even when he's moving, he's slow.
Yeah. I will say I think there was some significant plot armor.
For Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
I thought it was funny too because they're like, all right, somebody's about to get killed off. Let's get him naked. You know, they're like, let's.
I mean, that's the rule, though. That's the horror
Yeah.
movie rule.
No, I know.
The second you get naked, you're about to die. Like, that is it.
I know. I thought that was funny though. It was just like, it's like, well, they took their clothes off. It's not
Time
looking
to
good
go.
for them. Yeah. Trying to think what else I really liked. I wasn't like a big fan of Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't think I've like.
I think she's very fine here. There's
Yeah,
nothing,
I think she's fine.
She doesn't detract from the movie, but she doesn't super add to it.
Yeah, like I honestly think. I mean, obviously, like to compare like Scream to this is like, it's like something that, influenced, like Halloween influenced Scream. You know what I'm saying?
Halloween influenced them all.
I think like to compare them is very different because like using the sauce is different than creating the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
I don't know. I think the way that they framed a lot of these shots to where you're just so focused in on the character, and not like a jump scare, but it's like he literally
the one we used right here for the image.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that is such an incredible shot of him just
like
slowly coming forward into the light. Love it.
Like not just like a hand coming out of but it's like the mask. You can't see anything else but the mask.
Yes.
I think it is interesting. It's like this guy can't die. Like I'm just so like, is he just like the devil? Is that the idea?
He's the boogeyman.
Like he is like so like the boogeyman, like can I have some detail into necessarily what the boogeyman is? Do you know it? Like, is there like a
what do you mean? Like
I know like I know what the boogeyman like obviously he's supposed to be like this like scary figure.
Oh, like what is Michael Myers?
Yeah, I mean like film it.
So like from my understanding, so okay, so the way these movies kind of went is they did Halloween 2 where he like comes back and he tries to get Jamie Lee Curtis again. And then Halloween 3, their idea was to basically do like an anthology where it's like Halloween, but like it's about different people every single time. And so Halloween 3 is like about like this, like these masks that are like turning people into monsters. Not great. But then Halloween 4 was like, all right, we're bringing Michael Myers back. Turns out people actually want to see Michael Myers. And then they kind of went down like a weird cult angle where like Michael Myers was like created by a cult who like thought he was like basically like a demon spawn kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of ignored all that. They're like, yeah, that's not real. So then when they rebooted it in 2018, the reboot was a direct sequel to the original. And it was basically they caught Michael later on that night, put him back in jail, and it's 40 years later. And Michael is basically just a dude, but he's just like an unstoppable killing machine. Like he is just pure evil. But like still a man, like he's still like a guy, which I think is a better choice. Like it makes him scarier that he is just a guy, because like it's so easy to go down like he's like a demon or like whatever rabbit hole, but then it's not real. Like Michael Myers can be a real person. I think that makes him so much scarier.
Like I think the fact that he can be a real person, but then it's like they'll treat him as if he is like immortal. Like
correct, it makes it way better.
I think it's interesting because it's like the fact that there's multiple times in this movie where it's like, oh, I guess it's over, and then he just like
he gets right back up.
He like pops up again. So I don't know. I think
he's like the unstoppable force.
I think this movie met my expectations. I don't think it like blew my mind by any standards, but like I'm sure watching this movie, in what 1978. Is that right?
Yeah. This was the one.
Yeah. Is Jamie Lee like? I mean, obviously, there's like how many of these movies? Like 10 or like something like that.
Yeah, she's in a good chunk of them.
Like, do her performances kind of get better, or does she just kind of like was this just her start and it kind of like platformed her off to like some? I think
she's very good in the reboots.
Okay, I watched the reboot in 2018. I've seen that one.
I think the 2018 one is the second best of the entire franchise behind the original Halloween. I think 2018 is very, very strong. And then it kind of gets worse as it's like Halloween kills and Halloween ends. But I do think that she is much better in Halloween 2018 than
Gotcha.
she is here. I just really think Michael Myers as like a character is the best. Like I just
He is.
really love Michael Myers. I was thinking about it when you talk about the music. Like it reminds me also of in the Zack Snyder Justice League movies, whenever Wonder Woman would show up and it'd do like the theme, like the da na 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 na, whenever she would do
Yeah.
anything, and it is kind of like that with him. But like
Yeah.
this music is so much better that I'm okay with it than her music. I do think that this movie is. So I give it 4.5 stars. I think this is close to like as perfect as it gets. Like I think this is an amazing film.
Sure.
And I think what's so good about it is the unknown, because your brain fills in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about, like you want to know more about Michael Myers. Like I think if Donald Pleasance was like, so I've been his doctor for 15 years and here's everything about him, that would not have been as interesting as like, you know very little about Michael Myers except for the fact he did that when he was a kid and now he's back. And all he does is go and try to kill. And it's like, that is so much more interesting than anything else. And my favorite one is when he pins the guy to the wall.
Yeah.
And that is the best one. That's a great kill.
The thing that made my jaw drop was when Jamie Lee Curtis is upstairs in the house. She walks into the bedroom and there's like the gravestone of his sister. And I was like, first off, how did that fella get that thing up tonight?
Dude, he's just so strong.
But I was like, that's just crazy. Like that literally made my jaw drop. I was like, I mean, I watched this movie in the middle of the day. I would have loved to watch it at night, but I just like, unfortunately, like when I could watch it, I literally just had to watch it in the middle of the day. But I was like, there were like parts where like still kind of creep me out. You know what I'm saying? Which like,
yeah,
if it creeps you out when it's like in broad daylight, I mean, like that's what a horror movie's supposed to do. Like at night, I'm sure this movie would like totally freak me. But I think there are like some predictable parts, but like that's just like.
I think it's hard too to like go back because this did it really for the first time, and so like now you've seen so many movies that do it again and like copy this. When you go back and visit, you're like, oh, I've seen this before, but it's like this was the one that did it. Like this is the one that started it all. I do think one of the best is the ending. The ending is incredible with him getting shot over the balcony and then just disappearing. And like it leaves you on such a sense of like anxiety because you're like, oh, okay, he's gonna get him, and then Michael could be anywhere. Yeah, and like you just go into credits thinking like, oh my god, Michael's literally anywhere he could be.
The ending was perfect. I mean, just each shot of the different houses across the town was
like, and like the silence.
Is he here? Is he here? Is he here? Is he here? So it's like, I don't know. I think the plot itself, and I wasn't like super attached to like any of the characters, but I think I really appreciated the score and like the significance that this movie holds in like movie history. Like, and like I said earlier, I don't want to compare it to Scream, but like Scream is like, I know it's like one of the like very like surface level kind of like horror movies, but like I love those movies. Like I've seen like 1 and 2, and I think they were like great. And I think the banter between the cast is kind of like what makes that movie more fun, in my opinion. But I had a great time with this, and I'm glad we watched it because like I was long overdue to see this movie because it's just it's important to just kind of like see where ideas come from, not just like kind of experiencing them in real time, but kind of going back and checking yourself.
I do think the funniest thing, there's 2 funny things I think is so funny about this movie. The one is the semi-beginning when Loomis is going to the mental asylum, and like it's just the middle of the night and it's just downpour, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should drive up to this mental asylum. It's like, dude, wait till the morning. Till the morning. The other one I also think is funny every single time I see it, and I didn't really realize it until I've gotten older, is they clearly filmed in California, and it's supposed to be like Illinois. And so there's parts where they're like walking through the street and you're like, oh, okay, this is small town Illinois. And then you'll look in the background and see like a palm tree like just in the distance, and it's just like a fun little, like, you could tell it's a small budget movie that became so much more than it was. Also, Charles is just wrong. 2.5 stars is insane. I wish he was here just so I could be mad at him. Because that is a crazy take about this movie. This movie is so good.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is the lowest I could take this, but I don't know.
Yeah, like 3. I'd be like, all right, 3.5. Maybe it wasn't for you, but like it's still good. Like I would get.
Yeah.
But man, also some people should listen. Tommy Doyle was right. The boogeyman was outside. They should listen to him.
That poor kid, man.
I also love the neighbors when Lori goes next door and is like, "Help me!" They turn the porch light on. She looks outside and she's like, "I'm good. I'm not gonna help this lady." Yeah, she's like, "I'm okay. I don't want to help this lady." But yeah, I thought it's really good. Like it's just really, really good.
Yeah, I like obviously hearing the score. Like I'd heard the score before I'd seen the movie, but seeing it with the movie was something. I think the score, in my opinion, the score and kind of like the framing is what makes these movies so great.
It's also simple, which I think makes it so much better. Like you could go down the rabbit hole where it's like, oh, blah, 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 like it's all this complex stuff. If you just do it simple, stuff works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just got distracted. Sounds like Curtis Rourke is out against Washington next week.
No. Says who? No.
ESPN 1 minute ago.
Well, you know what? That's okay. We'll figure it out.
We need Taven to clutch up next week.
He did well in the second half.
Yeah.
Well, we came full circle here on this podcast and beginning and ending with
I know.
With Indiana football. So yeah. All right. That's all I got on Halloween. You got anything else?
No.
Cool.
Great movie.
All right. Next week on the pod, we'll talk next episode Penguin. I'll give a recap of Agatha All Along, unfortunately. And Venom. We get to talk some Venom next week. The final in the Venom trilogy, which is insane that we got a Venom trilogy without Spider-Man, but hey, we'll take it. So yeah. Anything else on you?
No.
All right.
Honestly, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Venom.
I know. I think we'll be torn. I think one of us is either going to really like it or one of us is going to really hate it, and then the other one's going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Cool. Enjoy your weekend, people, or your week. I don't know. I'm trying to think what day it is. It's Sunday. Yeah. Enjoy your week. Hopefully the Lions and not the Vikings. Hopefully the Vikings lose by 1,000,000 points. Hopefully the Lions and the Colts pull it off today, and hopefully Indiana football goes 8-0 as of next week with Curtis Rourke out. So that'd be a good game to actually jump on the money line for that, because I feel like they're going to drop a little bit against Washington, but we'll see. All right, Superman, drop a teaser so we can talk more about you next week. But anyway, all right, episode 41 in the books. For Jack, I'm Hunter. Charles will be back next week. We'll see you later. Have a good one.